Hey there, Colonials. Welcome back to another episode of Quickly Colonial. Today, I was thinking about the Thanksgiving season and the Christmas season and all the wonderful things that come with that time of year. And one of my favorite times is hunting season and how things have stayed the same and how things have changed a little bit since then during colonial times. In modern day, we have some sort of a casing that we load in our firearms, and it has this cartridge here has the casing itself and the bullet head. Inside at the back, we have some form of a primer, something to ignite, and whenever the hammer hits that primer, it causes an explosion that lights the gunpowder that's inside, and the bullet will explode out, will fly out. Things were a little bit different back in colonial times. You would have to have a patch and a ball. That would get wrapped up and shoved down the barrel of your firearm. But before that firearm was loaded with that patch and ball, you'd need to put powder in it. And so you see the powder horns that they would carry, and in the movies they would shake some powder into their barrel of their gun. But that's not realistic. If you put too much powder in there, it would be catastrophic. And so you would need to have some form or some way to measure that powder. If you're a good hunter, if you're a responsible and respectful hunter, you use as much of that animal as you can whenever you harvest it. One of my favorite things to do is to use the antlers to make powder measures. So I have one here that I made. As you can see, there's a little cup in there that I drilled out there. Firearms will tell you based on the caliber and the length of the barrel and whatnot on flintlocks and percussion caps, firearms, how much powder to measure out to put in there. And so I make powder measures with a bit of the animal that I harvested. That way we don't let anything go to waste. Those movies that you see where they take the powder horn and put powder down the barrel, that's a falsehood. They would put it in their powder measure and then take that powder measure and put down the barrel. So we have the colonial way, and we have the modern day. At a couple battles during the American Revolution, George Washington would tell his troops, if you can get 2 shots off against the enemy, we'll win the day. And I always thought that was kind of silly until I actually went to the range myself, and I had all my stuff laid out on a nice table at the range. My powder measures, my powder, my patch and ball. And it took me a full minute to load my flintlock before I could even fire it. And so now you think about that, and you're running on the battlefield. You're dodging enemy fire, or you're hiding behind a tree, and there's smoke and explosions going on all around you, and how difficult it would be to load that firearm 2 times. And if you could do that 2 times, you'd win the day. Absolutely amazing. Another thing that you'll take notice of is the patch that we use to load that firearm with. In some movies, you'll see where the people in the battles, it looks like they have a big wad of something in their mouth. They got something in there, or they're chewing on something. What that is they would rip pieces of material and put in their mouth to soften it up and to get it lubricated So, and these modern day ones, we put wax on them to make them a little bit slippery, so they're easier to load into the barrel. So whenever you see those movies with the pirates with the big sash of material, that wasn't a fashion statement. That was actually what they used. They would rip off little pieces of that material to load their firearms with. So we have the modern day and we have the old time way, the colonial way. I hope you've enjoyed our time together, and we'll see you next time on Quickly Colonial.